What if Neo never took the red pill? What if, on that night, under the flickering city lights across from Morpheus, his hand stopped halfway? What if he blinked and fear won? No awakening, no escape, no one. Only silence, the kind that hums beneath fluorescent lights, where freedom feels too heavy to hold. They say ignorance is bliss, but that's not true. Ignorance is quiet pain. It's living in a world you suspect is wrong, but being too afraid to ask why. And in this story, Neo doesn't wake up. He stays inside the matrix, inside the lie, and the world continues. Morpheus waits. His glasses catch the flicker of the lightning outside. Neo's hand trembles, hovering between the two pills. The red one burns in Morpheus's palm like a tiny sun. The blue one, calm, familiar, forgiving. And Neo hesitates. He thinks about what Morpheus said. All I'm offering is the truth. Nothing more. But what if the truth isn't salvation? What if it's just another form of control? The storm outside grows louder. Thunder, the hum of machines. Neo closes his eyes. He feels the weight of his decision pressing down on him like gravity. And then he chooses, not the red, the blue. A single swallow, and the world folds softly around him like a blanket. He wakes up the next morning in his bed, heart racing, breath short, the memory already fading like a dream. Thomas Anderson opens his eyes, same cracked ceiling, same hum of his computer fan. The world is stable, perfect, cold. He tells himself it was just a dream, a strange, vivid hallucination after another sleepless night of hacking. But something lingers. He walks to work under pale morning light. The city looks too clean, the people too synchronized. No one bumps into him. No one looks at him for too long. Every step feels rehearsed. Every sound looped, like he's living inside an endless rerun of his own life. At Metacortex, he stares at the green glow of his monitor. Lines of code scroll by, neat, symmetrical, beautiful in their precision. He types automatically, but his mind drifts elsewhere. Somewhere, deep inside him, a whisper says, "You made the wrong choice." He pushes it away. That night, he sees it again, words appearing on his screen without touch. "Wake up, Neo." He freezes. He knows what happens next, or rather, what should have happened. He rips the plug from the wall. The letters fade, but his heartbeat doesn't slow. He looks at the mirror across the room, and the reflection lags for half a second, just half a second, but enough. He steps closer, touches the glass. It ripples ever so slightly like water disturbed by breath, and then it's gone. Just a reflection again. He tells himself it's exhaustion, stress, sleep deprivation, but deep down he feels it. The system isn't perfect. It's just pretending to be. Weeks pass, routine returns, the matrix repairs itself. Thomas gets a promotion. He's suddenly praised by his boss. He starts making real money. He buys a new apartment, clean, quiet, high above the city noise. He eats better, sleeps more, stops asking questions. But comfort has a cost. The more the matrix rewards him, the emptier he feels. He begins to sense patterns in people's smiles, their phrases, their timing. Every conversation feels algorithmic. He starts finishing people's sentences before they speak. Sometimes he mouths their words at the same time. And once he predicts an entire conversation, line by line, as if it were scripted. And maybe it is, because this world doesn't need spontaneity. It just needs stability. And Neo, Thomas, has finally become predictable. Far away, in the real world, Morpheus keeps searching. The Oracle watches the code ripple and fade. Trinity dreams of a man she never meets, and Zion never rises. It collapses before it's born. Without Neo, the prophecy dies in silence. Without the One, the system never faces resistance strong enough to crack it. The Matrix evolves. It grows smarter, subtler. It doesn't need violence anymore. It just needs comfort. Why fight rebels when you can pacify them with pleasure? Why kill the curious when you can drown them in dopamine? The machines learn the best prison is the one that feels like paradise. And so they give humans everything they want. Likes, love, purpose, meaning. In infinite looping doses, the world is at peace. Perfectly fake peace. Neo starts to change again. He doesn't remember why. He just feels off script. One day he walks to work and suddenly stops. The same car passes him 3 times. The same billboard flickers the same ad. The same woman drops the same umbrella. The glitch. He looks around, and for a brief moment, everyone freezes. Every face turns blank. The world stops breathing. Then everything resumes. No one notices. But Neo knows. He rushes home, opens his old computer, starts typing furiously, not knowing what he's searching for. His fingers move faster than his mind. The code appears, flowing like language he used to know. He doesn't understand the symbols, but his body does. It's muscle memory from a life he never lived. And somewhere beyond the digital walls, the Matrix feels him. The system recognizes its ghost. That night, Neo dreams again. He's in a white room, no doors, no ceiling, just endless light. And there, sitting across from him, Morpheus. But his voice is softer this time, tired. "You made your choice," he says, "and that's okay." Neo looks around. "Is this real? Does it matter?" Morpheus asks. "You believed the other world wasn't real either." Neo feels a wave of sadness he can't explain. He wants to apologize, to ask for another chance. But the dream fades. He wakes up crying without knowing why. The next morning, Neo's phone rings. Unknown number. He answers. A calm, synthetic voice says, "Mr. Anderson, you've been selected for a new corporate opportunity." It's his company, MetaCortex. They want him to lead a new project in artificial consciousness. He doesn't understand why, but he accepts. At the new office, he's surrounded by glass, mirrors, chrome, reflections everywhere. His badge reads, Lead Developer, Neural Mapping. His job, to train an AI system to predict human behavior. He writes lines of code, loops of emotional patterns, choice algorithms, decision trees. And slowly, he begins to realize he's rebuilding the Matrix from inside it. Every update makes the system smoother, more adaptive, more believable. Every fix kills another glitch. He's erasing his own fingerprints from the system. The world feels perfect again. Too perfect. Years pass. Thomas Anderson becomes a legend at MetaCortex. Brilliant, silent, obedient. He wins awards, gives speeches, smiles for cameras, the perfect citizen of the Matrix. But at night, he sits alone in his apartment, staring at a screen that never turns off. The reflection of his own face flickers in the glass, split into green code. He whispers, "I think I used to be someone else." No one hears him. The Matrix doesn't need to punish him. It just needs him to forget. Trinity walks past him once in a crowded street, eyes locking for a fraction of a second. Recognition, then confusion, then nothing. They keep walking. 2 strangers, 2 ghosts who were supposed to save the world. The years blend. The world becomes quieter, more efficient. People stop asking why. They only ask how much. Humanity becomes data, predictable, measurable, controlled, and deep in the heart of the code, the Oracle deletes herself. Her work is done. Neo, or what's left of him, sits in his high-rise apartment, watching the city pulse with artificial light. He's old now, hair gray, eyes tired. He opens a drawer. Inside, wrapped in dust, lies a small red pill, the one he never took. How it got there, he doesn't know. Maybe the system left it as a joke, maybe as a test. He picks it up, stares at it under the pale glow of his desk lamp, and for the first time in decades, he smiles. Too late, he whispers. He sets the pill down, closes his eyes. The city hums. The screen flickers. Somewhere deep in the matrix, a single line of code lights up red, then fades. The world doesn't change. The system doesn't crash. No revolution comes. But something shifts. A ripple in the silence. A question, whispered through the data like a ghost. What if he had taken it? In another version of the matrix, a young man sits in front of a computer. He's tired, lonely, searching. Words appear on his screen. Wake up, Neo. He freezes. Something inside him stirs, a pulse, an instinct, a memory that isn't his. And in the infinite cycle of illusion and awakening, the question continues to echo. What if? Maybe truth is not a place we arrive. Maybe it's a sound, faint, fragile, repeating through every version of reality. And maybe the point was never to escape the matrix, but to recognize that we built it. Every screen, every rule, every comfort we mistake for freedom. This was What If Neo Never Took the Red Pill, a mind-cut story about illusion, comfort, and the quiet death of curiosity. Because sometimes the world doesn't need to trap us. We do it ourselves. Every time we choose what feels safe over what feels true. And maybe somewhere inside this simulation of a life, a part of us is still reaching for the red pill.